Rights for residents is the latest attempt to try to solve the cladding crisis in the wake of the Grenfell Tower fire back in June 2017.
Since then, the government has identified 462 high-rise residential buildings with dangerous cladding in England. It's thought 650,000 people are living in unsafe buildings. That's according to the Association of Residential Managing Agents.
But the latest government figures show just over 60% of buildings with dangerous cladding in the public sector. For example, housing associations have had it completely removed and replaced. On private sector blocks, it's below 50%.
Now the government wants to give people who own flats with flammable cladding in England and Wales up to 15 years to sue developers for poor construction. We're joined now by William Martin from the UK Cladding Action Group and Kian Sylvester from the City Point Residents Association, who joins us from Brighton. Morning to you. Thank you both very much for joining us. William, I just want to start with you first of all. You bought a house in Sheffield, you moved to Manchester. Just tell us briefly what happened.
So I bought a house in 2015 in Sheffield, and about a week or so after Grenfell, we found out we'd got the same material as Grenfell has. And then for the last 4 years, my life has been entirely on hold. I can't sell my property, I can't remortgage it. It's been a living nightmare. We found out we got funding to replace the ACM cladding, which was amazing news, but then subsequently found out that we've got a plethora of other problems that lie behind the brickwork, which are not funded, and we've been told could cost up to £6.2 million. We have no funding for that, and it's looking at around about £50,000 each. I can't really actually communicate how miserable my life has been.
Do you know, I'm so sorry, because I can just tell from your body language that this has been really tough on you. And you're not alone in this. No,
there are so many people out there that are stuck in this situation, and it's not just about cladding anymore. It's about timber balconies, it's about insulation, it's about cavity barriers, it's about all of these things that Mr. Jenrick just refuses to discuss and address, and it's causing such misery for so many people across the country who just want to move on with their lives and have done the right thing and have got onto the property ladder like we're told to do.
I'll come to Keane in a moment, but I'm just intrigued by, Louise talks about your body language, but it can also tell that you're clearly exasperated by, I would imagine, emails, letters, phone calls, trying to get to the bottom of this, trying to find out whether there's any financial help out there, whether developers are responsible for this. Where are you up to with regards to that?
Lots of emails. I haven't spent a free evening yet doing anything other than cladding and work around my building. We don't have any recourse with our developer. They don't exist anymore. So yesterday's announcement about the 15 years extension I've been able to claim from the developer is useless to me. And so we don't have anyone to go after. It's coming after the leaseholders, and we don't have any recourse. So I can send as many emails as I want, but we're not getting anywhere with this building. And ultimately, that means that my building remains unsafe, and the events of Grenfell will repeat themselves in a building like this at some point in the future.
Kian, let's talk to you about your situation, because you live in a block of flats, and they tell us about the safety issues that you are facing.
Yes, very similar to the previous person. Our survey was done in December 2020, and we got the result in January. All 5 blocks, which are built by Barratt Homes, have failed EWS1 on very similar things: combustible insulation, kingspan insulation board, timber balconies, and more worrying, missing cavity fire breaks, which are quite an important fire compartmentation feature to stop fire from spreading from flat to flat, floor to floor. And they are as part of the building regulations at the time of construction. At the moment, our managing agent is still trying to work out how to rectify these inherent defects. We're not getting any support from Barratt. They are at the moment saying they have no legal interest in the development. And we're just waiting. Like many others across the country, all the residents are worried about the fire safety of the buildings. If all this work needs to be done, then we have to assume they're not safe. We can't move, we can't sell, can't get mortgages when residents come to remortgage. yeah, all very worrying, really, and disappointing that Barratt Homes refused to help rectify the problems that they created.
Yeah, I should probably tell you, I mean, in response to what you're saying there about Barratt Homes, they say we're extremely sympathetic to the difficulties that homeowners and leaseholders are facing as a result of the complex issues surrounding cladding guidance. They're saying as a responsible business, we're helping freeholders and management companies as they carry out reviews of their buildings, and they talk about being committed to working alongside them and other stakeholders. I'm sure you and many other people in a similar situation have heard statements like that. I just wanted to come back to you, Cian, because William, you said it was a bill of about £50,000 for you. Is that right? Yeah. Cian, I don't know if you want to go into details, but I think it'd be helpful for our viewers, sort of financially, what sort of numbers are you looking at?
So, Firstport, a managing agent, they haven't fully defined the works yet. 4 of the blocks are under 18 metres, 1 is above 18 metres. So that one block has qualified for funding, which will cover some of the works, but the other 4 will get no government support. And we've had a ballpark figure, which is, they stressed it's ballpark based on their experience of other developments, but it could cost something like £12 million to rectify all of the problems across the site, and there are 250 apartments, so you can sort of do the maths to get.
And Cian, just on the sort of practicalities of it, because I know lots of people have to have, for example, the waking watches. Is that what's going on with you at the moment? What's happening?
Yeah, the 18-metre block had waking watch for a couple of months, and then they had a new fire alarm installed, and that was so that they would meet the fire risk assessment. And all of that came out of the service charge. I think the managing agent has applied for government funding, like the Waking Watch Fund, but nothing has come of that yet. So it's all at the moment they have paid.
And William, to come back to you, I mean, money is one thing, but the mental stress that you and so many others have been through. You talk about that potential bill, but this is a house that you bought, dreaming of a life associated with that. That sort of side of it has completely gone away now. You can't sell it, as you say. You can't get a mortgage on it, and at the minute nobody wants to move into it.
Yeah, you honestly can't really communicate to anyone who doesn't own or live in one of these flats the strain that it has on you. Going to sleep every single night next to potentially lethal materials. It's incredibly stressful. We did a survey. We found that 9 out of 10 people have said that their mental health has deteriorated. 23% of people said that they considered suicide or self-harm because of living in one of these buildings. And the chap there who's just saying about the costs and waking watchers, they're the costs that we're facing the here and now. So it's not actually the £50,000 in the future. It's the waking watch cost, the £7,000 a week, the insurance costs that have gone up by over 1,000%. They're the costs that leaseholders are facing every single day, that the government still fails to recognise are the thing that are going to bankrupt people and that are causing the mental health strain alongside living in an unsafe building.
Listen, I really appreciate your time. William Martin, thank you very much. Cian, Sylvester, thank you both. It's a story we'll continue to cover here on Breakfast. Thanks for your time.